Another YouTuber outed himself as a shield. Now, I never really watched him because I just thought video concept was kind of gay, but I can see how normies would like it. But Mortismal Gaming, the guy who does the reviews after 100%, he claims that the new Dragon Age is good despite basically not even being an RPG. There's no evil choices. You can't be an asshole to anybody. I mean, apparently the AI doesn't even have health bars, so it's not even a game. But, oh no, it's great. You should buy it. And his audience is so fucking stupid. Like, these look like toddlers. I hope they're children. It's like a Reddit 13-year-old or something, which you better not be on Reddit at 13. Or you're just gonna be fucked for life. You're gonna be a cuckold. At least it has 16,000 dislikes. I'm sure he's been deleting any comments that are too critical. If you honestly believe that I would ever accept any form of compensation for a review, you obviously don't know me at all. That's totally a good excuse, man. Definitely believable. And more importantly, you have no idea how anything sponsored or paid works. If I fail to disclose something like that, the FTC could fine me $40K and my channel could get deleted if they can prove it. And also, that's only if you receive direct compensation. You don't actually have to sign anything. Like, if it's not an actual sponsored video, then you don't have to disclose that you're essentially compensated. This is how journalists get away with making paid reviews. They're not actually given money to do the reviews. They just get exclusives and they get to go hang out. The last example I can think of YouTubers doing it is like Actman got to go to a retreat to play Payday 3 or whatever. They like fly YouTubers out to do stuff. That's not a paid review. No money was exchanged, technically. Another thing, this game is deeply political, so it's possible that this isn't even a paid review and he just didn't want to get called a sexist, racist, chud, whatever the hell, by giving the far left game a negative review. Whereas, believe it or not, Skill Up, of all people, had a shred of integrity and said the game's ass, because it is. I mean, it's too obviously shit. Obvious reputational damage. Well, in this day and age, there is no fucking reputational damage. You know how many times fucking, at this point, Actman, Skill Up, Angry Joe, especially Angry Joe since he's been doing it so long, how many times they've recommended obviously shit games? It has happened so many times. As long as you have enough fucking parasocial dick suckers, there is no fucking reputational damage anymore on YouTube. Because everyone's a fucking pussy. That's the truth. I have not received any compensation of any sort for this. I just like the game. So you have shit taste and nobody should listen to you. But I heard someone said he likes Starfield, which just tells you that you absolutely should not listen to anything he has to say. Anyone who likes Starfield as dog shit taste of video games, do not fucking take anything they have to say seriously. I did not even attend their preview event, so you claim. I'm glad other reviewers have expressed their opinions about why they don't like it, because that's how reviews work. People, this is such cuckoldry. Like, who talks like this? Who talk? Again, stop going to Reddit, please. I'm glad other reviewers have expressed their opinions about why they don't like it, because that is how reviews work, and people should see it from all angles. I said it would be divisive in this very video. The fact people seem to be losing their shit over you not being as negative about a game as they want you to be is honestly pretty depressing. No, what's way more depressing is people dislike bombing a video because you don't like a game as much as they do. You love the taste of dick, you homo. This game's sales numbers are proving culture war YouTube dislikes don't mean anything. What the fuck are you talking about, retard? The game's not even out. I love how people are like, oh, it was number 5 on Steam pre-sale charts when nothing else came out this month. Wow, it's selling like crazy. You fucking idiot. These fucking retards, again, being a leftist just blinds you to reality completely. Yet another example. The game literally hasn't even officially released, idiot. You can't say the game sold well yet. Unless it has like 10 million pre-orders, which it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, so he did delete all the negative comments, evidently, by these all being dick sucker comments. Yeah, this is all dick sucker comments. All right. This is the one that inspired me to read this in the first place. This is so wild. I only check out 2 game reviewers, Mortismal and Skill Up. Well, you're definitely informed then on the quality of a game. And hearing you saying best entry in the series game of the year while Skill Up completely demolished it and says not recommended is very confusing. See, the sad thing is, when everyone realizes how shit this is, are they all going to unsubscribe? No, they'll forget. because people are dumb. I don't know if it's the microplastics or dysgenics or whatever. People are stupid and have short memories. They're going to continue to trust this. I don't know if he's a sellout or just afraid of pissing off leftists or whatever the hell. In any case, this is not a legitimate review. This game, literally, you can look at it. Just look at 5 seconds of a cutscene. You know it's dog shit. I know there's no competition this year, but there's no universe where this is Game of the Year. No universe. None. But people are like, well, it's just his opinion. Yeah, well, all my videos are just my opinion. Yeah, look, 50% dislikes on like anything that gets a significant amount of viewers. It's like, but that's fine though. That's fine because I'm a chud. See, this is such a pussy ass comment. Like, you're afraid to say what you're really thinking, which is, oh, my parasocial e-celeb who I love actually is a backstabbing cuckold who, no, well, that's probably too extreme for what this normie is probably thinking. Maybe I shouldn't trust this person anymore. There you go. That's a normal way of saying it. Being locked in just one goody two-shoes hero path and not being able to role-play in a role-playing game is a major red flag and a deal-breaker. Weird how he didn't respond to this. No heart, no nothing. Resources you need to implement a complete and fulfilling evil playthrough just isn't worth it. Role-playing doesn't mean you necessarily just have an NPC. Okay, so we're now defending billion-dollar corporations. It's not worth the resources to make the game good. Bootlicking cuckold. That's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be a list of retarded ass user shills. It's like, this is the type of shit where it's like, never speak again. You might think this is a public forum. No, there needs to be an IQ test to shit up these comment sections. I miss when YouTube comments were like almost as volatile as 4chan, which feels like an eternity ago now. But I remember back in like 2012, if you said something like that, be like, shut up, retard, you bootlicking, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? It's so long ago now, but the YouTube comment sections did used to be like that. It was so long ago. Worst thing is not that you can't be a bad guy, but you can't be a badass renegade. And he hearted this. So it's like, you think this is the best game of the year when you can't even role-play in the Western role-playing game? Now, if this was an Eastern role-playing game, you'd have a point, because those are just telling a story. They're basically a visual novel with gameplay elements. But they were pretty intriguing stories, you know, they're fun. Some are well-written, some are just really creative. But in Western RPGs, the whole point is player choice. That's like the one like major hook. If there's no player choice, again, say what you want about Baldur's Gate 3, it's some of the most player choice I'd played in any modern game, at least. There's no player choice in this. Oh, here's another pussy comment. You putting this game over Dragon Age Origins is very confusing. Confusing. Say what you really think, bitch. I'm very on the record about Origins just being alright in every aspect besides the world building. Okay, well, see, that's an actual hot take. Like, I could respect that, but if you're praising a dog shit video game to shit on the original, why the hell would anyone... And this is 244 likes. If I said something like this, not on my channel, because you guys would just say based, but if I said this somewhere else, like, people would... You know, that would get you negative 500 on Reddit. Be losing all your karma. All I know is this infuriated me. All of his fans are fucking retards and get what they deserve. A guy is lying to your fucking face, and you're like, this is confusing. Skill Up said it's bad, and he said it's good. It's like, yeah, that's what's happening. Again, why should I care that you're getting scammed? And some of these people are left-wing, talk about how evil corporations are. A guy pretending to be your e-friend is like stabbing you in the back and twisting for the corporations, and you're like, this is weird. It's like, why? Your ideology is worthless. Fuck you. You know, all of you suck. You have no principles. They straight up remove YouTube comments that are calculated to have sufficient negative emotion in them. It's an auto delete. That's true, but there are ways that you can critique people and get away with it. I mean, just see how leftists comment on my videos that they hate. You just have to figure out how you're allowed to criticize. And obviously people have figured it out. So just emulate that style. The fact that there's none of that here proves to me that he's deleting comments. Mort also likes Starfield, so dude stays true to himself. Why would you even watch this guy after he liked Starfield? This is what people deserve it. Dude, this looks like a fucking mobile game. Look at how ugly this UI
have
is.
Much more of an action focus. It does actually
Oh my
retain
God.
some of that tactics-based
Oh my
system
God.
in a way that meshes
This
pretty
is
well
what
with
you're
they're
shilling.
going for here.
You're shilling
so
this.
I realize that the way it is implemented here is solid and leads to a fun combat system that was fun to explore with all the different
do
classes
twirls
I
and
played,
shoot
while,
little
course,
magic
checking out all the
green
different story
spells.
options.
Super engaging.
Unsurprised options you have when dealing with quests and the like that lead you to big outcomes.
Hold on, let's play that line again. What the fuck was that? Is this guy a former game journalist? Say that again.
Quests and the like that lead you to big outcomes.
Quests and the like that lead you to big outcomes. You know, I don't even script my videos, but I feel like me going off the cuff sounds way better than that shit. Oh my God.
Also making combat more fun than it has been in previous entries, at the very least to me. Though I certainly wouldn't call the game perfect, I do think there are some points where it could have done better.
You know, that's the type of criticisms that, you know, again, we'll just say pussies want me to put in my videos, where it's like, you know, I like the game, but, you know, it's not perfect, and it's just my opinion, but I don't really like this very much. It's like, that's what people want to watch? What the fuck is wrong with the world? This guy has like 300-something thousand subscribers. Yeah, 348,000. This video has almost 400,000 views. Who the fuck is watching this shit? What you do? Oh my God. God. Are those the defaults that come up? Are those the fucking defaults that come up? Don't point that out. This is the 4. This is the 4 defaults. Does this look like anyone who plays? Just, do you think a single fucking person who wants to play this game is gonna pick one of those 4 presets? A single fucking person? No. No. But this is who they want their audience to be. This is fine, though. It's fine. You can make your own character. It doesn't matter how, you know, repulsive the defaults look, because you can make them look like whatever you want, except big breasts or a big ass. You can't do that, because that's transphobic. It's problematic. You know, you're objectifying an object, literally, not a real person, an object. That's a problem. Look at that! Look at that! You're okay with that? Oh my God, this looks so uncanny, it's unreal. Look at that! Look at it! Oh. Oh God, it's so uncanny. Oh my God, please! How are you shilling this? How are you shilling this? How have you not lost 100,000 subscribers overnight? We live in a Reddit world. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is Reddit world. In Based world, this would have been downvoted into oblivion. He'd lose all the subs that watch this video. Who the fuck? You say this is game of the year. This is game of the year. This is fucking disgusting.
Honestly, pretty cool to me, but I fully admit my bar for character creation is pretty low personally.
Oh, see, this is how he gets away with this. This is how he gets away with it. He's like, well, you know, my standards for character creation are low anyway. You know, I have low standards for character creation anyway, so, you know, that means that me sucking this game off is completely normal. You know, I would never accept any payment for a review.
Development reasoning, it takes a lot of effort to go through those choices.
We're making excuses for bad devs now. This is another part of the review, because, you know, again, there's no unskilled artists. Every artist could paint the Mona Lisa, no matter what they look like, how long they've spent drawing or whatever. Yeah, I'm glad this is how we've evolved in our critique. It's never the developer's fault.
There are a bunch of different presets for difficulty that you can choose from, but you can also pick a custom option that, of course, lets you customize the difficulty in a more modular way that is becoming more popular with games these days, and that I personally am a big fan of.
Yeah, we should have 20 difficulty settings. Don't curtail the challenge of your game to how it's meant to be played. Have a baby mode for everybody. That's how it should be. Yeah, that's what you're saying. That sounds like an enlightened take.
While the game is very easy on Storyteller, it can also be very challenging on higher difficulties like Nightmare.
What a non-statement.
It can be very easy on easy, and it's very hard on hard.
I'm going to talk about the basic setup for the game and a few general things I liked and disliked. Again, not going into any great depth here.
I'm maybe pulling a little bit of an EFAP myself, but you said you're not going to go into detail? This video is 41 minutes long. Is going into detail by modern standards having a 3-hour-long review? No, that's just scamming for ad revenue. That's what that is. And watch time. No, 41 minutes is detail. This is just, it sounds like excuses.
All women are queens.
I cast my wand. Like, that's so gay, man. You might say, oh, it's boring to have the wizard be like, yeah. You know, but like, I don't know. In Dragon's Dogma, I never thought, oh, the animations aren't flamboyant enough. Like, it's, dude, I'm getting embarrassed watching this shit. Please, it's so cringe. You're clearly seeing a bad game on the screen. Like, anybody knows that can see this looks like slop. But no, don't believe your lying eyes. Trust the reviewer. This is game of the year.
You are finished now, Miss Ajo. You want happy ending?
Dude, the Asian elf looks so fucked, man. Why are there Asian elves?
If she breathes, she's a thought!
You guys see what I mean, though, about the you can't unsee the fruity spellcasting. Fucking Harry Potter looked less gay than this. Look, I know I brought this game up a bunch of times. It's not an awesome game by any stretch, but I think of like how Kingdoms of Amalur did mages. Like, you had these bladed chakrams that you could like throw your chakrams and like it'd slice up people and then come back to you because they're magic. And I'm like, hey, that was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen a game where a mage throws spinny blades.
I thought they did a pretty good job of bringing all of their narrative threads to a close.
We have no way to verify what you're saying because you're refusing to spoil it. You know, if you don't talk details about the ending, how will anybody know if they're actually good or not? Like, again, you can't expose the lies if you just talk really vaguely about it.
I am not a romance in video games guy. I don't get it. I know people get really attached to these characters, and
I mean, I don't understand what there's not to get unless you're just he's doing his best Dark Side Phil impression where it's like, you know, I have a girlfriend. I don't want to see this. What do you mean? I mean, it's immersion. It's part of immersion. If you're getting immersed in the world, you're really into your character. You know, you're literally him for real. Then don't you want your character to have a love interest in the game? I don't think most people are not asking for like an actual sex scene or something. Just like a romantic interest was incredibly common. Like, look at storytelling throughout human history. Almost every time a character has either a love interest or a wife or something, because that was just a part of, you know, existing as a human being, a complete human being. But we live in one of the many narratives by whoever, the powers that be, is that, no, you have to learn to love yourself. And since nobody actually loves themselves in the modern day, there's all these people who are alone and they justify it to themselves because it's like, oh, it's fine. I don't need another person to complete me because I need to learn to love myself or whatever the fuck. You know, it's just narcissism. It's another way to make narcissism sound good. No, giving a character a love interest makes the story more engaging most of the time. It's just modern writers can't write it. So I can get sort of the idea like, oh, I don't get love interests because they're bad usually in video games. But when they're not bad, they're great. But I just don't like the way he said that, where it sounds like he's making excuses for being bad by saying, oh, I never liked it anyway.
And I think her story in particular captures a lot of the ideas and things that were conveyed about Tevinter previously before we...
You could say schizo brain. But it sounds like what he's trying to be like is, I'm a super fan. So I'm not going to say specifics because I also assume you're a super fan. If you're not, you don't care about this anyway. So I'm not going to name any specifics. I'm going to say, hey, remember that thing from the last game? That thing comes back again. It's like, okay, but does that... I don't know if that really adds... Does that even add anything to the review? Is that just padding? If you're not going to actually talk about it, why it's good or bad, why bring it up at all?
Her actual story was pretty solid, and the problems she's facing are probably the most relatable to any given person, which I appreciated.
What our fantasy needs more than anything is relatability. You know, she's struggling with her student loans. This is something like that. See, again, he's not naming specifics, so how the hell am I supposed to make fun of it? Dude, I saw this on V. Oh my god, he's shilling something with a cutscene this bad. Watch how bad this choreography is.
And a couple other things going on.
He runs past him, the wings knock him over. He like spins around. I don't even know what he just did there. Snap the neck.
Emmerich was surprisingly fun. He's an older gentleman necromancer, which was honestly just kind of delightful. They take the subject of necromancy and add this like charming gentleman personality to it.
Because you're a
was
Redditor.
lot of
You like
fan
lame
privilege
ass.
provides
Oh,
the
it
third
subverted
comic
your
relief, and his
expectations,
story
so
as
it's
well
good.
And one thing I really did enjoy is that while there were, I would say, definitely a few moments with companions that made me roll my eyes, it wasn't uncommon for the game to then go on and like directly address that thing. So clearly what they said was very intentional.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Lampshading bad writing is good. You're a midwit. Fucking midwit. So I'm saying, who's listening to this? Normies who just, they don't even know what he's saying, because the average IQ is probably like 90 at this point. So they don't actually understand what he's saying. They just like the way he's saying it. But he just fucking said, like, if they say like, oh, wow, I don't like this. This is bad, guys. And then immediately after, like, oh, that was kind of cringe what you said, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, I guess that was cringe. That makes it okay? No, it's not okay. Okay? What fucking year is it?
We have just the lore of the Dragon Age series. I love the universe of this game and how everything works, and seeing more of that and seeing it get expanded on was a real treat for me. I think they did a great job with that.
That's just what every fanboy says by every continuation of their franchise. I loved how the Fallout TV show expanded the lore. It made it actually about capitalism when the literal creators said it's not about capitalism. I love that. I'm definitely a fan.
The story and the characters that they've written to facilitate that lore is also a big plus for me as well.
There's no universe where you're convinced me these are good characters. There's no way that's believable.
Now, this other negative might sound a little bit weird, but your character is the hero and they basically have to behave as the hero.
I love how he brings this up at the end, so nobody's actually going to hear it. Though a few people brought it up in the comments section, but that is absolutely something that you would bring up either in story setup, companions, or gameplay and world. But as far as I can tell, he did not. No, bring it up in the conclusion, so only 20% of the people who watch the video will hear it.
It's basically impossible to be mean to literally anyone, which is odd.
Yeah, that's
You
odd.
can be-
That's odd. Weird. I can't be mean to anybody in this modern RPG written by women, and the game director is a troon. Literally, that's not a joke. Literally. Because they're fucking Tumblristas! Of course they don't want you to be mean to their darlings. Their characters are the greatest thing they've ever written. You can't be mean to them. Player choice? What? Fuck you. You should be honored to buy this corporate product.
That makes it, as far as I'm concerned, the best entry in the series. And frankly, my own personal game of the year. I'm absolutely giving this one a buy. I think you should check it out.
I mean, again, but people are too fucking stupid. People don't even care if they shill you something. They just don't care. They do care if you say their dog shit thing that they like is shit, like I do all the time. They don't care if someone is obviously shilling a product. Who cares if someone betrays me? I've never met him, never will. I love him. He's my best friend.
The writing is frankly terminal. It lacks any nuance or wit or wisdom. It cannot communicate ideas except to say them aloud to the camera. It manufactures petty, unbelievable tension because it doesn't know how to create anything more real, and it's too scared to ever be truly confronting or dark for fear that it might make the audience uncomfortable.
Thank God. Jesus, that's actually like, that was actually pretty well written. I gotta hand it off. I mean, I would have said it like 10 times more bluntly than that, but basically the same thing I would have said. It's millennial writing. As Shredded Nerd would say, that's 100% the millennial writing thing.
The romance system feels equally antiquated, heavily reliant on the "will bang okay" button, even when it doesn't make sense for that to be an option, with no supporting systems behind it to make your romance decisions feel believable or consequential.
I feel like video games are always going to have that problem. I mean, you have to look at the people who are writing them. These are not Chads, maybe they need to hire someone who's actually written successful romance novels, and then when people cringe at it, you say, well, women love this, so what does that say about women, you fucking sexist? And I would love the fucking, that'd be like Islam is right about women type of moment, where it's like people are gonna realize, oh, right, this smut that women like is actually, fucking weird. I mean, there were moments, 50 Shades of Grey was definitely a moment where people were like, yeah, this is fucking weird, but...
The world design is so weird. I have never encountered worlds quite like this. They feel more like Overwatch maps than actual explorable spaces, and they're littered with puzzles so mind-numbingly stupid that I wonder how little BioWare must think of our ability to solve puzzles. And the combat is shallow is too kind a word. The lack of enemy variety, the sponginess of those enemies...
Oh my god, this is a real review! I was too harsh on Skill Up. Everything he's saying is correct. I haven't even played the game, and I bet they're 100% correct, because these are the things I would say. These are the things I would say. Except I would say it way more meanly. I'd say, like, normies actually like this fucking garbage, you subhumans.
Limited your control over party members is, it all makes combat so utterly mindless and so breathtakingly repetitive. Who both ended up lowering the difficulty to the easiest setting, not because it was hard, but because it was just so drawn out and so boring.
Yeah, it would make fun of me if I did that, though.
Characters do not look like real people. They look like Pixar or DreamWorks characters. You think I'm exaggerating? This is Prince Charming from Shrek. Are you going to tell me this man wouldn't slot right into the Veilguard aesthetic? Man, you could drop him in right now as a companion character and no one would bat an eyelid. Man,
it actually does. Yeah, you know what? You know what? It does look like Shrek. God damn, it does look like Shrek. He's right. But like Shrek looked better than this though. Like the Shrek characters is supposed to look weird. This just looks fucking gross. It 100% looks like Shrek.
It's obviously a choice that BioWare made. You don't accidentally end up with characters that look like this. On one hand, I respect it because they really swung for something different here. Absolutely. On the other hand, I really dislike how these characters look.
Dude, I know I'm dwelling on this, but like you compare this to like the Mortismal review and like the comments being like, oh, I'm confused. Skill Up hated it and you liked it. I'm confused. It's like, dude, one guy sounds like he's telling the truth and is going into detail why it's bad, and the other guy is like vaguely shilling a product. Dude, I'm not a fucking genius, okay? Like, do you really need above average IQ to tell one guy is shilling the game and one's telling the truth? I mean, legitimately, even just the style of the way it's written. Mortismal was so vague about details about the game. On purpose. So you can't call him out on his opinion. It's not even a real fucking opinion. Look at those sad titties, man. There's like nothing there, and they're saggy despite there being nothing there. That's like a little boy's chest. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is some gay shit.
Nothing compares though to what they did to the Kunari. Like, holy hell, I have no idea what they were thinking. This is how they used to look in the Inquisition, like truly badass and intimidating. And this is how they look in Veilguard. I mean, how on earth could BioWare have landed on these designs and thought, yep, that's it, ship it? The Kunari redesign looks comically bad in the Inquisition. Like, truly badass and intimidating.
Yeah, and this game was woke for its time. It's crazy how bad things have gotten. Like, it's unbelievable how bad things have gotten. This game was woke at the time, and now it's probably nothing compared to this new shit. At least that looks like a demon. Like, that's clearly not a human. The new ones, it's just like some ugly-ass human face stapled on. They just gave it horns. That's it.
These character designs are distracting and they weaken the game's ability to deliver emotional moments. I don't think your characters need to look realistic for you to have a strong connection to them. There are millions of games that disprove that point.
People point out the heads are too big, and I remember they were showing like, it was different characters in the scene, but it was like the same shot. Does his character not look like a manlet? Like, that dude looks like 5'2", and it's because the heads are too big. And I say this as a guy who has a big head in real life, unfortunately. That dude looks 5'2". These proportions are fucked. And they do it on purpose, man. They do it on purpose to make everything look, again, like, so, I want to say gay, but it's not gay literally. It's like so harmless, so weak, and like a background character. There's like an artist rendition where it's like a hero is supposed to be like 8 heads high, where like an NPC is like 6 heads high. Hero proportions have a smaller head. These are manlet weakling proportions.
This half human, half cartoon thing, it catches on the eye the same way an off note catches on the ear. It's hard not to be distracted by just how odd everyone looks. And in the more tense, emotional scenes, I found that their fake plastic faces made it harder for me to buy into whatever emotional distress they were selling. This is further compounded by BioWare's approach to facial animations, which is extremely outdated in 2024, especially for a game where you spend so much time looking at characters' faces. Like, take this example when my character is angrily trying to convince the Grey Wardens to act.
We don't have time to play Who's the Greyest Warden. You need to shut up and listen. The threat is real. The gods are coming, and they're bringing the blight with them.
Or this clip when Rook is dressing down the team after a setback.
Last I checked, there are 2 gods out there. They've got plans, and we're falling behind. And if it wasn't clear enough after Demeter's crossing, it's clear now. They'll rain disease and death across Thedas unless we stop them.
In both instances, you really can't see the emotion that the voice actor is delivering.
And again, look, these are specific examples versus Mortismal's review. Nothing, just vague statements. It's like, why do people just fall for shit? They want to fall for shit. That's the thing. People want to hear sweet little lies. That's why Todd Howard's so popular, right? They don't want to hear the harsh truth, especially when I roast them as I do it. And they deserve it. They deserve it. No, they want to hear the sweet little lies.
Compare those to this outburst from Cassandra 9 years ago in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You kept him from us.
Now look, for my money, Cassandra's face here looks angry and expressive. I'm not only hearing her rage, but I am seeing it too.
Yeah, at least she has a frowny face. No. The standards are low, and yet they're even worse than last time. That's the crazy part, where it's like, that animation wasn't good either, but it's actually gotten worse in 9 years. Somehow. I'm begging so hard for a real industry collapse. The one that happened this year was too small. We need to wipe out entire teams. Like, the companies need to be liquidated. It's the only way that we can rebuild at this point. Like, everyone needs to be fired.
The one exception to this, I think, is the visual design of environments, which are regularly stunning. I don't like how these spaces are laid out or what you do in them, but they do look really nice. There's a range of settings from cityscapes to forests to darkened swamps to old hollowed out Greywarden fortresses, and they all look great in their own way. They each feel visually cohesive with unique architectural styles and color palettes that create a very strong sense of space and place.
I don't know, they just look like generic fantasy places. That's the thing, like, I feel like Western RPGs could learn a lot from Japanese ones, especially old ones. Because, like, I mean, yeah, you could say a lot of them don't make sense in Japanese games, but, like, it's fantasy. It doesn't actually have to make sense. These environments just look like stuff I've seen in any other fantasy game before.
I will also say that Veilguard runs extraordinarily well on a high-end PC, which doesn't always happen all the time, by the way, right? I played this at 4K ultra settings, ray tracing enabled, and even without DLSS frame generation, I was still able to hit over 100 frames per second very easily. With lower settings, with lower resolutions, with ray tracing off, and with frame generation as an option, I think there's a huge amount of headroom for this game to run really well on lower end PCs.
I'm guessing, no, yeah, that's because there's no DRM. I mean, without DRM, I bet a lot of these modern games that I've played would actually run fine. But, you know, de novo is just, it's scamming PC gamers, basically. It's fucking them. But no one's going to want to preserve this game. That's the thing. Like, yes, there are people obsessed with preserving every game. I've never been that guy. I just don't really care personally. The good games will be preserved. Nobody's going to want this game. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to remember this came out in a month. Every video game is now flavor of the month because normies don't actually care. They just want to be part of this big thing. There's some comment on my Gaming is Dying video that said something like, everyone wants to be like part of this big Avengers Endgame moment, where it's like they want to be part of this huge thing that everything's built up toward. And so every game release has to be an event, which also stirs like FOMO in people. So it's like, oh, you have to buy it on launch. Doesn't matter if it's a single player game, you have to get it at launch because nobody's going to care about this game in 2 weeks. Everything is a big event, even if it's shit. This year has been shit after shit after shit after shit. There's been barely any good games. I keep remembering Dragon's Dogma 2 came out this year. That's so depressing. I have no hope. Not real hope, but I'm just... That expansion needs to save the game. I don't hope it will. It needs to.
Dragon Age games have, generally speaking, been pretty dark. I mean, the first game opens with a ritual where you drink demon blood to join a sacred order, and one of the other guys doesn't survive that ritual. He just kind of dies right there on the spot, and then another guy freaks out and he's like, no, please don't make me do that. And then Duncan, who's conducting the ritual, knows that there's no way to back out of this ceremony, so he murders that dude in cold blood before whispering in his ear,
I am sorry.
Now, if that moment is like an 8 out of 10 in terms of how dark you might expect your fantasy to be, Dragon Age the Veilguard never gets above like a 2 or a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, because it's millennial writing. You can't take anything seriously. Everything has to be wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If it's serious for 1 millisecond, you have to do a joke right afterward. Fucking cape shit, man. Joss Whedon style writing completely fucked everything.
There are precisely 0 moments where something happens that made me go, oh shit, alright, now we're talking. I used the word banality in my intro, and one of the biggest reasons this game feels so banal is because when you eventually realize that nothing bad is ever gonna happen, you stop hoping for something interesting or surprising to happen.
Look, I don't know what game Skill Up has reviewed this year or the past really few years, because I haven't actually really watched this channel in like 3 or 4 years. Have you not been playing modern games? They're all like this. I mean, shit. Like, I feel like so many modern AAA games are exactly what he just described, where they're never dark or serious. Nothing crazy happens, like, ever. That's not surprising. It almost feels like they didn't send any money. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like so many other games, but I guess most of the time he's shilling the games. It wouldn't make sense if he said a lot of modern games are like this.
In place of more serious, more dark events and characters is the embrace of a more playful, silly tone. It's about keeping it light, like Balara here talking about the fact that 2 elven gods are now out to destroy the world.
Oh, just finding out that 3 of my gods are out there trying to end the world. Why wouldn't I be okay?
God, that literally, does that not sound straight out of the millennial writing video? It does.
Emmerich is a necromancer, raising the dead and commanding them as your minions, but don't worry, BioWare is not going to let you get freaked out by all that scary death stuff. Emmerich happens to be a lovely old gentleman. He is dapper, he is proper, he delights in pleasantries, and he has a servant, a lovable skeleton named Manfred, who happily dotes on Emmerich and screeches with glee whenever he's mentioned.
Yeah, and Mortismal is like, oh, I love that character. Isn't it great? It subverted my expectations. That's fucking awful! He didn't even have to, again, like Mortismal game, he doesn't play any clips, no examples of why the game is good. All you have to do is play part of the game in the review. Like, wow, that's ass. That's dog shit. But people are so fucking stupid that all they can comment, maybe they were scared of having their comment deleted, maybe in the back of their head. But they're so stupid in the Mortismal Gaming review, the comments like, this is weird. You love the game and Skill Up hated the game. Weird. I don't know who to believe. How about you fucking watch? Watch the fucking video. And then you can come to your own conclusion. I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it, dude. I have no sympathy at all for these people. They're not people, okay? I don't care how poor they are. They can't afford to feed themselves or whatever. Well, you were never a person in the first place, so why would I care? You cause all your own problems. You do. Oh my God. Oh my God. Stop. That's disgusting.
See, this is why no one ever wants to fuck you.
Dude, the Black Elf, man. This is parody. It's parody. Dude, I don't even want to know, because it would disgust me, like, beyond belief. How many people watched extra credits?
Much of the recent conversation on orcs points out that characterizing a whole species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent might be harmful to real-world groups, regularly mischaracterized as ugly, warlike, and malevolent.
This chicken is cold!
If you could know how much influence those 2 extra credits videos had, the one where it's like, like it or not, you're a Nazi, and orcs are black, Lamau. If we could know just how much influence that had on the industry, despite being dislike bombed into oblivion at the time, You would not. Would you ever question after that why things are as bad as they are right now? Now, obviously, I'm not discrediting BlackRock and all that external funding, but I'm talking about in terms of the devs' ideology, the actual people working on their game, what they believe, how much of that was influenced by extra credits videos. They're very ahead of their time. Gee, what is the game director? What does the game director look like? What does the game director identify as? What was the sex of the writers of the game? Like, again, you can't put that in a review because that's like hate speech, bullying, or whatever to point out who made the video game and maybe suggest why the video game's bad. The game director is trans. There's probably multiple female writers on the game. I wonder why it's bad. No. It's the corporations. It's the corporations. Only the corporations. Yes, the corporations hired the people. No shit. But I'm saying, imagine not blaming the chef when your food comes out like shit. The people worked on the game and they made it ass. And don't even tell me they didn't have enough time. Okay? Modern games have a development cycle of like 5 fucking years. Or more in some cases. Some are 8 years. Dude, Concord was 8 years supposedly. Though the actual development time, I'm sure, was only like 2 to 3. Because that's what it is. Like, years of pre-production as the corpo fucks are like, okay, what gets us the highest ESG score? You know, and they mold this over for years. And then we get this ass. Garbage. Fucking garbage.
They were never at each other's throats, by the way. They literally had one perfectly civil conversation where no one even raised their voice, and now they've, patched it up. However, BioWare clearly want to create some semblance of conflict between team members, so they instead focus on petty squabbles. Like here, Emmerich wants to bring too many books to a camping trip that Harding is planning, and Harding is upset about that. Just watch the clip.
Harding, does it really matter if Emmerich brings 8 books?
9, actually.
And Emmerich? So what if Harding is fine sleeping on dirt?
Not all the time.
This is the sort of conflict that Veilguard is constantly generating between team members, just arguing about utter nonsense. And did you see how Rook needed to sort it out at the end? He talks to them like they're children.
Because the writers view everyone else as children, okay? They're the main character. Any other conflict in the world is a bunch of immature babies.
Like, here's another example of him sorting out a disagreement between Tash and Emmerich when they're arguing about the fact that Tash doesn't like necromancy.
You two could still learn things together you'd never find out alone. Emmerich, you clearly find talking about dragons boring.
What? How? Who doesn't like dragons?
Look at that thing. Even the body language. What the fuck is this? I can't. How can you even look at this and be okay? That's how you know you're brainwashed. That's how you know you're brainwashed, okay? If you just go back in time, less than 15 years, go back to 2010, and you showed a gamer from 2010 that fucking thing and be like, that's Dragon Age right there. Like, what the fuck? What? That's Dragon Age? Excuse me? There's no fucking way. They'd be like, what even is that? What? I'm being nice. I'm talking about a fictional character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
She hates it.
No, I don't hate it. It's really nice. Temperature.
I won't be upset if you don't like coffee.
He really wouldn't.
I know, but, sorry. It's just this thing I do sometimes.
Acting so people will like you?
It sounds terrible when you say it like that. I know I don't need to do it. I just do.
Dude, why? How the fuck do these people think they're heroes? Do you think heroes act like this? No, this is what literal nobodies who will never accomplish anything talk like. That's how there's no universe where this thing is one of the creatures that will save the universe. Who talks like a fucking Redditor. My God, what is this ego, man? Like, this is how you know we as a society are fucked. That we stopped having these idols, like people we aspire to be who are better than us. We want to be more brave, more humble, more whatever. No, instead we're like, we're already heroes. We don't need to change anything. We'll be the future. It's like, you will do nothing except take a massive fucking shit on things that people like. You fucking scum. Demoralized as I am, I'm obviously not half as demoralized as the people who just eat the slop. Just fucking eat it, and they're okay with it. You fucking disgust me. Truly.
I just grinded him down because his moveset was so basic, so limited, and so easy to counter that all it took was time. And that's all the combat ever takes because enemies are so spongy.
I love how it has become normal for games to just waste your time and people just don't care. It's also weird how many people will prefer a sandbox game over a linear game, and then those same people will skip almost all the side quests anyway. So what, the open world was just like a set piece for the story missions? That's all you want it for? Giant, empty, wasted space. Just as flavor for the campaign. Because there's a shit ton of people who don't even fucking do side quests.
The finale of this game is actually fantastic. It's a 2-hour gauntlet, and while the combat side of it remains the same, there are multiple impactful decisions to be made, there are multiple meaningful revelations, there are multiple thrilling set pieces full of action and emotion. Playing that final 2 hours, you cannot but think to yourself, imagine if the entire game was like this.
There's no chance in hell that I agree with that, because like, while I do think endings are very important, it's the journey, not the destination. If you went through a hell and you don't care about any of your companions, you don't care about the main quest, how could the conclusion possibly be good? Because you don't care about the story, don't care about the characters, don't care about the combat. I don't think there's any way in hell that the last 2 hours could be that good that you're like, oh man, if only the whole game was like this. I doubt it.
The rest of the game is meandering and dull and childish, and all of its systems are so surface level. And that is my biggest criticism of Dragon Age the Veilguard. It is just so surface level. It has companions, but neither them nor their stories are any deeper than a puddle. It has a romance system, so it ticks that box, but it feels so awkward and cheap.
Even if you're doing that for the review, there's no way in hell you'd romance that disgusting creature, man. I wish I hadn't seen that. There's nobody worth romancing this ugly-ass game.
I really struggled a great deal with how to write this review, and that's not like performative hand-wringing when I say that, by the way. As I've matured in this job, I've become far more aware of how I talk about games, striving to do so in a way that is both critical and constructive.
Yeah, so basically you're becoming a lefty cuck. Yeah, he literally, I forgot about this. A few years back, he had a second channel with his brother where they talked about anti-SJW shit. That's why Reset Era hates him, by the way. Yeah, Reset Era has banned discussion about Skill Up because he's secretly a chud. It's like, yes, yeah, you grinded down any of the edge from your videos so that you could suck up to as many people as possible and not make the horrible devs who shouldn't even be working in the industry not cry from the truth. That and the shilling. This is definitely shilling of bad games.
And so as I look back over this script, I really wish I had more constructive things to say. But the truth is, I don't. And I'm no good to anyone if I'm not totally honest about how I feel about a video game.
Okay, well then you're useless. Again, I don't really watch his videos anymore. But back when I did, he was becoming more and more dishonest over time. So that's hilarious that he's like, I'm useless if I'm not honest. But you're not honest, though. That's why people call you Shill Up. I mean, the name Shill Up wouldn't exist if you didn't shill games. Like, the name didn't just come out of nowhere because people just wanted to make fun of you for no reason. People make fun of you for good reason.
This is just my opinion, and I know there are people out there who do enjoy this video game. So my only ask is that in addition to watching this review, please go and seek out the more positive ones as well. Find people with whom this game resonated, because this game might resonate with you too. And as I've said many times before, I would hate for my take to deprive you of an experience that you might love. For me though, Dragon Age the Veilguard was so disappointing that I cannot muster any enthusiasm or excitement for the Mass Effect project that BioWare are currently working on. I hope they get the chance to make that game, and I hope it succeeds where Veilguard failed.
You hope incompetent people who shouldn't be working at the company get another chance to make another shit game and ruin another franchise. You wonder why people don't trust this guy anymore. But the thing is, the vast majority still do, because the vast majority of people are fucking retards. They just want to hear the flowery, slightly above average quality video. This is why, like, I used to, in the early days, watch other people's videos to try and learn from them. And after a certain point, it became too cringe, because literally everyone became a shill. Well, listen, my videos have legitimate problems. Sometimes it's factual misinformation. They're not well edited, but not scripted. If everyone else is lying, then they're unwatchable videos. I'm not going to improve much further than I have without like paying an editor. I can't watch these other videos anymore because it pisses me off too much after I played the shit games and seen the lies. It's like there's no way in hell that I would believe for even a second these people would shill like legitimately shit games and actually think they're good. Normies do think that. Normies will say a positive review of a dog shit video game is just like, well, that's just his opinion. But if I shit on a game that is bad, but normies like it because they have no taste, then it's like, oh, well, I'm a rage baiter, I'm a chud, racist, sexist, etc., etc. No, the game isn't bad because the game they like can't be bad. It can't be. You can't have bad taste despite you not playing nearly as many video games as I have, and you not even really giving a shit about video games as a whole. You don't care about gaming. No. You have good taste, you bug. You have good taste. Not me. Fuck you. You're a bug.
But if either of those things are to happen, it's going to be against all odds, because I think Veilguard will mark a permanent shift in the way we talk about BioWare, and it's a shift that makes me really sad.
Okay, that's not true, though. People have been shitting on BioWare for like a decade at this point. Do you even remember Mass Effect 3 Skill Up? I know he didn't do YouTube back when Mass Effect 3 came out, but everyone was mad about the Mass Effect 3 ending. Everyone. So what the fuck are you talking about? It's, again, you're talking to normies with the memory of goldfish. The gamers, like me, who played Mass Effect 3 on release and saw one of the worst endings in video game history, permanently didn't like BioWare anymore after that. His audience, they don't play video games, really, so, imagine my shock. But that said, this is a good video until the ending, so I'll give it a like. But the conclusion was ass. The rest of the video was good, but the conclusion was like, don't hate me, guys. I don't hate developers. Developers do nothing wrong. I hope they get to make another shit game and ruin another franchise. Wow. What a great message. What a great fucking message. It almost ruins the rest of the video, but not quite, because it's at the end, so most people won't listen to it anyway. A grim reminder that studios aren't names, they're people, and the people left years ago. Okay, there you go. Already better than like every comment on Mortismal's video. It's like, correct. The BioWare of 15 years ago is long gone. All those people are gone. I'm glad that has 12,000 likes. Some people actually understand what's going on. Comments on Mortismal's video almost sound like bots or like kids who are realizing that their E-celeb daddy is a lying shill. Fucking stop shilling Luke Stevens. God, what a shit, another shit normie channel. Shook a hand with fucking Moloch or some shit to be like, push me everywhere despite having no personality and no interesting takes. That's like everyone on YouTube though these days. But yeah, Luke Stevens is like such a like nothing channel. Like you get absolutely nothing by watching those videos. Nah, Husky, I think I'm good. I don't care what a femoid has to say on Dragon Age Veilguard.
I got a review code maybe a week ago and I've been playing every single day. Oh god, so stupid. Actually, this exceeded my expectations greatly. I don't want this to be a finale, and it felt like it. I really like my rook. Oh god.
Lost Ever, thanks to $5. Leftoids now treat romantic relationships as a non-essential part of life, a luxury. Insane given that the survival of the species depends on this. Yeah, it's getting very cringe. Especially when we know that they're porn addicts. Their brain has now separated, like, all romance is inherently pornographic. And that's only for porn, right? Only pornographic material should only be in porn. So thus, no romance should be in video games. I feel like that has to be the left-wing brain logic, because I can't really see how else it would make sense. McLovin, thanks for $5. My fellow synth cells skill up cooked with this one. Yeah, actually Skill Up did a good job, except that ending. That ending was bad. It was like, please don't cancel me. I love developers. It's like, shut the hell up. You know why the games are bad, and it's not just the corporations. It's the people working for the corporations. Asterix, thanks to the $20. They failed us this time, guys, but we all believe in the vision. Let's hope they rise to the occasion and return to form for the next game. Go out there and make the game we know you can. We have faith in you. Shill up. Yep. That ending was fucked. It was basically like, I'm sorry for actually having an opinion and properly critiquing this game. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's like, don't apologize, pussy. You did nothing wrong. Except tell the truth, which is a crime in this day and age. Kevin, thanks to $2. King, could you name your top 5 favorite female characters in gaming? Let's see. Jill Valentine. I guess Samus. And what female characters do I actually like in video games? It's not a long list. Yeah, Tifa. Tifa, there you go. That's a good one. Yeah, Tally, you know, when I was a teenager, Tally was definitely my romance option, Mass Effect. No, it's not Cow or Abby. That's just a meme. I actually don't hate Abby that much anymore after actually playing Last of Us 2. Ironic. Very ironic. No, not Yuppie, you fucks. You're naming things you like, not me. Well, I can only name 4. That's not great. Come on, what are some like good female characters from games I grew up with? There's got to be some. Yeah, Regina, that's a pretty good one. Capcom's always had some babes. I don't want to name multiple Resident Evil ones, but yeah, if I did multiple Resident Evil, like it's like Jill, Claire, Ada, Sheva. It's like, yeah, I would fucking Resident Evil has got the hottest bitches. I don't know what to say, and they actually do stuff. They don't just like exist. They actually are playable characters. Listen, I don't love Lara Croft because I hate the controls in her video game. So, no, she's not one of my favorite characters. There's some meme going around. I want developers to be paid more, to work less, to make games with worse graphics, and I'm not kidding. And it's like, yes, yes. Yeah, pay competent people and to not crunch to make games with like PS3 graphics. You would have to get rid of the shitty devs that work there right now and replace them with talented people. But the point is, if you paid more, higher quality devs, smaller teams, reasonable budgets, obviously we'd have better games. About Luna from Yu-Gi-Oh! She really saved you in that duel. Haha, no. I'm gonna Akiza Chad. Akiza, Alexis. Yes, if I was naming Yu-Gi-Oh! Girls, it would probably be Akiza, Alexis, and then some other character. Bell.
What is this?
破壊神が狩りを手伝ってくれるなんて。
This can't be happening!